Let's tank Odyn in the Trials of Valor on Heroic and Normal difficulty. Now this fight is really good. I really enjoyed doing it, and the progression, it's not too difficult, but there's a few things you need to be aware of as a tank, and there's things you can do to help the raid. So let's look at phase 1. The fight begins with Himdall and Herja, and what you want to do is you want to tank them on opposite sides of the room. Now, you want to split your raid into 2 groups, DPSing them both down. Once they hit 25%, they're going to start channeling the ability called Reverify, and what this is upon reaching 25% health, the caster becomes immune and begins casting Reverify, healing 50% of the caster's maximum life. The cast is interrupted if both Himdall and Herja are defeated. So basically, this means both of them need to get killed at the same time and hit 25% health before Reverify on one of them finishes, or the one where it's finished is going to get healed up to about 50% life. So just make sure you split your DPS evenly and kill them evenly. So now for the adds. Both of them have 2 abilities each. Himdall has Dancing Blade and Horn of Valor. Horn of Valor being the more important ability to be aware of. Dancing Blade, not so much. All Dancing Blade does is, like in its dungeon counterpart, it's going to throw a blade, it spins around, and all you need to do is make sure you're not stunning it. Horn of Valor is going to inflict 7.5 million physical damage to all enemies within 15 yards and causes all players to resonate, inflicting 650,000 physical damage to allies within 5 yards apart. So when this ability comes out, you need to make sure everyone's spread apart. And for the tanking Himdall, you just need to make sure you get out of the ability, leave a big circle around him, and you run out and then just go back in once it's finished casting. Herja's 2 abilities are Expel Light, which will just put like a random circle around a player and they just need to run out of the raid group. It deals holy damage to all players within the 8-yard radius. And Shield of Light, which is the more important ability to be aware of, and all you need to do is put a marker down. We just place the marker pretty much slap bang in the center of the room, and the person who gets targeted by Shield of Light just runs to this marker, and then you just need people between Herja and the marker just to soak it, because it splits damage between everyone within it. Now, throughout this phase, Odyn's going to be casting a few abilities, the first being Draw Power, and what that is Odyn's going to activate the runes around his chamber and begins generating energy. After 30 seconds, Odyn reaches 100 energy and casts Unerring Blast. Now, what Unerring Blast is going to do, it's going to inflict 1 million holy damage to all players. Each active rune increases damage of Unerring Blast by 200%. Now, to deactivate these runes, there's going to be these adds that spawn, and they're going to focus 5 players. Now, these 5 players need to match the add to the correct rune, and then these adds need to be killed within the rune to deactivate the rune. It's pretty easy, and they haven't got too much health, so just make sure everyone's swapping to the adds and killing them on the right rune set. And then you might want to like pop a minor cooldown for the Unerring Blast when it actually goes out, but it's not too much damage and it's pretty easy to heal through. So the only other real advice I could give for this phase is to pretty much have more range on Himdall and more melee on Herja, just because of the Horn ability. So once both the adds are at 25% health and they've jumped out of the fight, Odyn's then going to jump down. Now for positioning, we chose to tank him on the southern side of the big circle within the room. This is because of the ability Test of the Ages, and periodically Himdall and Herja leap into the arena, engaging the players in battle. When you take them to 85% health, it causes them to then exit the arena until called upon again. And once again, you just need to keep the ad away from Odyn, 35 yards at least, and just make sure that they're not within the range, or all damage is reduced by 99%. So pretty much I just tanked the ad wherever they landed on whatever side. I believe Himdall's on the left and Herja is on the right. So just tank them where they are, and once they're active, they're going to do the same abilities like they did in phase 1. And for Odyn, he has a set of abilities, the first being Odyn's Test, and with each consecutive melee attack against the same target, Odyn attack speed increases by 8%. This effect stacks, and because of this, we chose to 3 tank just to make it a little bit easier. So you have 2 tanks on Odyn, and then the 3rd tank is picking up Himdall or Herja. Now the next ability you need to be aware of is Spear of Light, and basically there's going to be a swirl on the ground, a spear's going to pop up and then shoot out little glowing orbs. You need to dodge the orbs or they're going to stun you. And I believe you cast these about 3 at a time. We was in like a 25-man raid I think when we did this, so just be wary and always keep an eye out for these abilities. If you can't keep an eye out for them because you're looking at something else, just always be watching for little orbs floating your way and just try to move around. There's no harm in moving around or dodging. And then again during this phase, keep an eye out for the Draw Power ability and the adds. Just make sure you're dodging orbs and killing the abs on the right runes, and this phase is pretty easy, especially if you're 3 tanking it. Now for the final phase, we no longer have to worry about the extra add Himdar or Herja jumping into the fight, and we just have to concentrate on Odyn's mechanics alone. Now the most important mechanic of this phase is Cleansing Flame, and all this is going to do is make most of the room glow, and you can't stand in this glowing section basically, so you're going to be tanking the boss in one part of the room, and what you want to do is tank him roughly in the center of the section you've been given, and then when Odyn casts Stormforged Spear, you want to get as far away from him as possible as a tank, because the further away you are from Odyn, the less damage this ability does. The best way for this as a warrior I found was to heroic leap out, and then you want to pop a minor cooldown because it still hits pretty hard, so you just want a DR on yourself, call for an external if you need to, and then just get straight back in there. And this is pretty much the taunt rotation for this fight. You just want to be taunting every Stormforged Spear, keep Odyn as far away from the tank as possible. If you're tanking Odyn and you see the tank's not gone far enough, you can always also pull Odyn away from where the tank has gone. Now, the other mechanic in this phase is Storm of Justice, and basically Odyn's going to mark a few players, and after 5 seconds, lightning strikes the target where they currently are, inflicts X amount of nature damage to all players within the radius, and then it'll drop some tornadoes. Just make sure you're not standing in any tornadoes, because they knock you up, and yeah, it's just a pain in the ass. So just make sure you're not near them, you burn the boss, you take him to 10%, and then you've won the fight. It's game over at 10%. Good job, you got yourself a kill. Now, this fight is really fun. I had a blast doing it. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what they do with it on Mythic next week. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope this guide helped you get the kill, and please like, comment, and subscribe for more of my content. See you on my Guam guide.